Hey there, welcome to the Excited Show. I'm Chris. Got Joe and Paul with me. How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
USA advanced in the World Cup. Life is good.
Yeah, can I ask about that? Okay, there are legitimate soccer fans in America. Great. It's not a problem. You know, Paul has talked a lot about soccer. Brandon, a guy that's been on a lot of our podcasts, talks a lot about soccer. That's fine. There are some Americans. It's soccer. It's soccer, which is fine. I mean, it's soccer. Great. There are people who like certain sports with Americans in it that they wouldn't normally like in the Olympics. Like you're watching biathlon or gun shooting or whatever, and you wouldn't normally care about, but you're like, yay, I like this because of Team America. I get that. There are a lot of people that I know don't give a lick about soccer that are now turning the gonzo soccer fans. And, Paul, you're a soccer guy. This should offend you. You should be like, you like soccer all the time or don't like it at all. There's a lot of, fair weather soccer fans, Paul. What do you think about that?
With the state of soccer in America, I'm not going to shame anyone for, if they want to hop on board for the World Cup, they are welcome to. I hope they stick around. We could afford to catch up with the rest of the world, but I'm not gonna throw shade if people get excited about the World Cup. That's how I love soccer growing up. Kind of got away with it, but then watching a World Cup that brought me back into it, and it's been years now, and love every second. I won't discourage it. I'm not gonna give in to your bitterness.
We've known Joe Frost for many years, right?
Why?
At least 20 years, 25 maybe. I don't know how long.
I can't remember that long. Does anyone really know anyone?
Well, we always think soccer when we think of Joe Frost. I mean, there's no other thing that we can think of.
What?
Joe, how much World Cup have you watched so far? I'm sure
this year, not much.
Okay.
I was watching a little bit. I think I was on Saturday. I don't even remember who it was now. But previous World Cups, I've watched a lot. I mean, when it's during the summer, when I'm not working, it's a lot easier to watch. It's a little more difficult to watch when I'm at my job.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's over the holiday time.
It's very strange.
I will say, we got to start talking about the big Arby's fight, but I guess the other thing I wanted to say about the World Cup is I want to see more classic rivalries. Like we talk about the rivalries in sports, Ohio State, Michigan, Browns, Steelers, whatever the case might be. I want feuding countries to be matched up against each other. U.S. Iran, that's great. We might go to war with them pretty soon, so let's play them in soccer. I want to see Germany and France. Now, Germany and France are nice to each other now, but France kind of, they forfeited to Germany in World War II.
They surrendered anytime the Germans came near them.
I want to see either countries that hate each other right now or countries that have hated each other in the past. Wouldn't that be great?
No.
You're trying to stir up World War III?
I know. He's like,
yeah. It would make it
do you not remember what started World War II? It doesn't take much. So it could be anything. It could legit happen because of the World Cup.
Yeah, and they went along and did that. I mean, there was a big controversy. The Iranians weren't singing along the anthem, and people got mad, and the U.S. did some tweet or something where Iran wanted them kicked out of the World Cup. I mean, that makes the World Cup more interesting. I'm looking at some of these games.
So you're in it for the nonsense. You're in it for just the absolute rubbish part.
Let's make dangerous political statements. That'll spice things up.
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing here, today, Argentina played Poland. Okay, now that's kind of interesting. Messi, I know, plays for Argentina.
They could be at war. Anybody can be at war anymore, really.
But it's got to be Poland v. Germany. That I would watch that game.
So only if they're geographic neighbors.
Poland would get crushed.
Right. Well, Poland got crushed in World War II. Can they overcome Germany right now? I mean, I think that would be very fascinating.
No. On the pitch, no.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not really. It's not really a fair match.
Okay, it's like going to watch Ohio State against, one of the many crappy teams that play each year. Who cares? You want to see that rivalry. You want to see Ohio State, Michigan. You want to see Ohio State, Penn State. You don't want to see Ohio State against Kent. What does that have to do with anything? Or Ohio State v. Akron? Come on. I want to see.
But the reality is that what it takes to get into the World Cup in the first place is a whole process of qualifying. So it isn't that anybody who actually has qualified for the World Cup is really terrible.
Yeah, but you know what? The college football playoffs are going to be decided on Sunday. Do you really think they're going to pick the 4 best teams? Probably not. Like, Ohio State doesn't deserve to be in the college football playoffs after they stunk it up against Michigan, but they may make it because
Ohio State. The person they lost to was Michigan, who was ranked in the top 4. Like, that's not bad.
But Ohio State gets better ratings than TCU. I mean, they may make over TCU.
What's
just
TCU
because,
again? I don't.
Texas Christian. Nobody wants to watch that. Same thing with the World Cup. We're not watching Poland, Argentina. We're watching U.S. Iran because we want to say, hey,
we're in the U.S.
Right. Well, we want to make sure we don't need to go to our bomb shelters at the end of the game.
Is Ohio State, Michigan, you have rival schools.
Right.
With the World Cup. Okay. So you get you've got people playing their own teammates from their normal clubs playing against. So it's not like you've got, it's not like Ohio State, Michigan. You've got guys who, away from the World Cup and national teams, their best friends playing on the same team the rest of the year. So you don't have this cross team hatred like you'd have with Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, and see, I don't like that either.
It would be like Ohio State, Michigan, when Ohio State's team and Michigan's team are reconstituted into people who are from Ohio and people who are from Michigan.
There you go.
See, I miss the days like the Olympic hockey team when they beat Russia. The great thing about it was you knew nothing about Russia. Like, the guys weren't playing in the AHL at that time. There were these mysterious, great, hockey players like, ooh, how can we beat these Russians? We don't know who they are. Now we know who everyone is. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, that's that guy who plays for this team or that team or the other thing. I want mystery into it. You know what I mean? I want when the U.S. plays Iran
what you
in
want
soccer,
then.
Right.
You want Argentina to face Portugal at some point.
Yes.
Then you'll clash to the Titans.
Yeah, anytime a country goes to war with somebody else. Well, I wouldn't even say clash of Titans. Let's look back through history. Let's find countries that we've been to war with in the past, put them all in the same group. Now, here's where it's going to get controversial. Like Iraq. Who knows how good their soccer team is? Let's say they stink. They probably haven't had much of a chance to practice over the past 12 years or whatever else the case might be. But
it's hard to practice around all of the bomb craters.
Right. But I want to see Iraq, Iran, U.S. in the same pool. And you might say, oh, well, what if Iraq's a bad team? Oh, who cares? I would watch that game. Would you watch Iran versus Iraq in World Cup? Oh, that'd be fantastic.
You would watch World Cup if it. Yeah, good.
It's like, let's take a bunch of people who are on the verge of pressing nuclear buttons at each other, and let's throw the World Cup on top of it. What could go wrong?
Yeah. If the Bloods and the Crips could have teams in the World Cup, let's do that.
I would watch that game. Well, let's look at some of these other games. Maybe pulling, Argentina, Australia, and Denmark.
So in your world, the World Cup would only be played with teams who have historical rivalries.
Like,
so there's no room
who
for
does Canada
anybody else
play?
to come in.
Who does Canada play? They're never angry at anybody.
Well,
So
and
they get
Canada make it.
disqualified because they're never
Right. If you're
Well, not this
not,
So you
year, but-
disqualify them.
if you're not poking buttons, you don't make the World Cup. Canada didn't make the World Cup. Now, here's another mistake: Mexico against Saudi Arabia. Now, there are some countries that'd be fun to see Mexico play against, but what does Saudi Arabia do? I mean, that's like
human rights violations. Like, does that count?
right, but Saudi Arabia needs to go up against
also
Qatar.
the host country. Let's not even get into it. Oh my gosh, all the stuff
Right.
that I've been reading about.
Right, so Saudi Arabia needs to
Host
face
country,
Qatar.
how they built all the stadiums and all of the people who died so that they could host the World Cup.
Yeah, only 400 dead. I mean, come on.
Yeah, just 400.
It's a
Isn't that
sacrifice
every
you have to
World
make.
Cup 400 people die? Isn't that the way
Chris
that
wants nuclear war. I mean, 400, that's nothing. He
400
wants
is
mass
nothing.
destruction.
Yeah,
it
I
didn't
mean,
even get started yet?
400 dead in the construction of stadiums is a small price to pay for the World
Is
Cup.
Is it a small price to pay?
For the World Cup.
Why did they let them
Nuclear-
do this?
Nuclear
Like,
demolition.
it's absolutely absurd.
Right, and the World Cup was smart. Let's put U.S. and Iran together. I mean, it wasn't a draw. I mean, can you imagine it would really sit there and let a random draw decide who plays against each other? It's fixed, but they don't fix it right. They fix it right when Iran and U.S. are in the same bracket. They fix it wrong when Mexico is playing Saudi Arabia. Who cares? I mean, it's tough.
So you want them to do an entire
were you
group
glued to your
that's
seat
made
for
up
the-
of people that you've never heard of?
No, I even if I haven't heard of the team, I want the commentator to say, "Hey, what happened in 1748?" And you're looking up and go,
They're like, "Oh
Cool,
man,
they
this
fought each other.
Burkina
Oh,
Faso match is really historically significant."
"Yeah,
So
look
how
up the old
about
wars."
the fact that U.S. and England were in the same group? I mean, that should
that was
serve right
smart.
up what you're looking for.
Yeah, the
Boom.
Wales, I wasn't quite sure about, but yeah, U.S. England, yeah, let's bring up the
You say you
Revolutionary
want a
War.
revolution?
Yeah,
Well, you know,
and there's got to be more smack talking. You know, U.S. patting Iran on the back after they beat them. That's not good. I want to see like U.S. England.
they
I
should
want
literally kick them when they're down.
Yeah, I want like
Put them
when
down
U.S. England
and
plays
literally
each other.
kick them.
Hopefully, there was some George Washington trash talk going on, or King George, or you know. Like I wanted like the U.S. goalie to yell taxation without representation, and we're like, "Whoa, look at that!" You know.
So
word.
our star Christian Pulisic, you want him to smack talk England where he
Right.
plays the rest of the year.
Why not?
Yeah, he has to have a job during the rest of the year.
It
During
could
all
be
of the
fun.
other years when there isn't a World Cup.
It could be fun smack talk. I mean, if you're bringing up King George, I mean, is that really going to offend people? I mean, it's old.
It doesn't
old trash
offend
talk.
you. You don't still have a king.
Okay. Well, that's original King George. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But hey, Ohio Connection, how about the U.S. men's coach, former coach of the Columbus Crew?
There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Joe Sassy.
Great.
So our apologies for those of you
Try
watching.
to bring it back to
live,
Ohio so we can get to this Arby story.
Yes.
I mean, I'll talk to soccer all night, but the name of the episode is Fight Night at
Yes.
Arby's.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about this show. You never know. I really didn't want to talk about the World Cup because I really don't care. But man, we got what? 14 minutes from the World Cup. That's great. Remember that one show we did where we did like 20 minutes on the Super Bowl Shuffle, and somebody tweeted their anger, like, how dare they spend 20 minutes on the Super Bowl Shuffle? And I'm like, 20? We should have done 40. It's
Don't
kind of rough.
underestimate us.
Yeah, please don't. All right. I forget which one of you guys are on TikTok. Was it you, Joe?
I am not on TikTok.
No, me neither.
I have a TikTok account. It's mostly to watch companies do their TikTok. I've uploaded videos. They're boring. They're like videos you would upload to YouTube. I'm not doing dance videos or where I have like logos or graphics or whatever else the case
what
might be.
Even is the point of having a TikTok if you aren't doing the dances?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But to answer your question, Joe, you think it's just about dancing, but it's not. It's about fighting. There's a Arby's in
So
Hudson.
your videos are about fighting?
Well, apparently this person did. Hudson, Ohio, near Akron. There was a TikTok user who recorded a Arby's manager yelling at a patron over their full refund request. Here's what happened. The person claimed they ordered a number one for $9.49, but the manager the cashier gave them $6. I don't know what that means.
They're supposed to get 9 something in change. They were given 6 and change.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like the story's written wrong because it says they ordered a number one for $9.49. I'm confused, but okay. So there was a complaint over order. That happens probably every other order at fast food places. So the cashier doesn't give him enough money. Tension escalates. The patient yells out "F you" to the manager, who responds by telling the man, "You have a serious problem." So they start cussing back and forth at one another before the manager threatens to call police. And it's a move that the customer encourages. Are you guys in the story? I hate to play the video if there's cuss words, but
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
I'm able to listen to it right now because I'm wearing headphones, so I was watching it just a little bit there. Yeah.
Oh! Check it out. A woman was involved. It looks like the woman manager.
Yeah.
Came in, was yelling, and wow. I don't like confrontation. I think instead of grabbing from my phone, I'd probably just take out the $6 and say, "Here you go, buddy."
And that's what the guy behind the counter is trying to do, but the manager is just.
And isn't it bad when you yell at a woman?
Well, especially the things that he is yelling.
I love it too because I'm to the part of the video where the guy turns around and notices the camera guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if you were having a loud disagreement and you turned around and you saw somebody filming you, I would be horrified. I would either say, "Please, can you delete that?" Or you walk away in shame going, "What has my life become where I'm screaming at somebody at Arby's?" But this guy's pointing at the cameraman like, "Hey, don't you hear this?" Like he knows he's going to be a star.
The guy holding the camera is like, "Yeah, man, I'm not really involved in any of this. I'm just filming."
Yeah. Do you see what this guy's handle is? The guy who posted. I'm not sure if he was the guy taking the video or not. Sofa King We Today?
Todded.
Oh, Todded.
Todded.
That's interesting.
But I've so rarely been involved in heated arguments like this where nobody can seem to back down.
Yeah.
But like as soon as somebody starts escalating it to the point where bad language gets involved, I see too many of these things where like someone says, this word and someone just says this word in return, and then suddenly just everybody loses their mind. And you'll turn around and look at the person who's filming and you're like, "Oh, are you filming this? You better be filming this because the other person is wrong." It's like, well, no, you're wrong too. Do you not understand that this isn't going well for you? You're not winning this argument. And then later the manager says, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the police. And his response is, "Yeah, go ahead and call them." As if there's any way that it's going to go well for him when the police have been called on a customer at Arby's. There's no way it's going well for you. How do you not recognize that?
Too much meat.
Yes.
Too much meat. It's the
they
meat
have
sweats.
the meats.
Too much.
That's the one thing they do have.
Causing problems now.
They have the meats.
1.4 million hits on this video already.
Well, this isn't even the best one that I've seen. This is just them screaming ridiculous things at each other. I enjoyed the McDonald's back fight behind the counter. Two employees, two female employees who just had enough of each other. The film begins and they've already basically started the fight, but all right through the drive-through area, just pummeling each other. The manager escorts one of them to the back while the other one's in the front yelling back there as if she's won the fight. And she goes to FaceTime somebody and turns her back, and the other woman comes running from the back and just levels her from behind to the side of her head while she's on FaceTime with somebody. We're just like,
oh, jeez.
Yikes. And then she's just behind the register, just hammer fisting like she's in UFC or something. Oh, man, brutal.
That's what Chris wants out of the World Cup.
That's what he wants for the World Cup. None of this pretending you're hurting and falling down. I want literally somebody to pound on somebody else to the back of their head.
It'll make the World Cup much more fascinating.
Mm-hmm. UFC meets World Cup.
The other thing I noticed from that video, and again, I'm not a man of confrontation. I thrive in urging it in World Cups, but I don't want to see it personally. I mean, I'll see it from my TV or watching a TikTok video. But the strange thing about this video was, did you see the guy in the brown pants? He wasn't involved in the argument or the near fight. He just came up and ordered. I'll tell you, if I walk in a fast food place and I'm seeing people scream at each other, I'm like, all right, there's McDonald's next door. I'm going there. I don't need Arby's. Come on. Yep. This guy just walks up and starts ordering, like, been there, seen that. I want me a roast beef. Yeah, he needs some meat.
When you get your heart set on a roast beef, McDonald's
I don't care what all y'all's problems are. I need a roast beef sandwich.
Because don't you think, too, and I hate to label people, but, anymore, I mean, if you're at fast food and there's a fight, I mean, you're thinking, okay, our gun's going to come out. I don't want anything like that to happen. But this guy, maybe this guy who came in and placed the order is the hero, because who knows? Maybe there have been gunplay or whatever. This guy just walks up nonchalantly. I'm good. Give me my roast beef. I'm ready to go.
Right. Let's just move on.
Yeah, he's a hero. Good for him. I'm kind of wondering, again, I'm not on TikTok for reasons to get tons of clicks. You guys are on TikTok. Is this going to encourage more people to post angry videos? I mean, I don't know. There's other stuff that works on TikTok. I see fun relationship
plenty
videos.
Of fight videos going on. I don't think it's going to encourage or discourage. I think it's going to be the same amount. There's already an abundance out there.
Yeah, because right now we're excited about clicks, shares, everything else. I mean, maybe that's what we need to do. I mean, would you guys try to film something if you saw it? Just in hopes of getting clicks on your Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
No.
Okay.
No, I really I'd be too scared that when someone saw me with the camera, they'd come trying to fight me.
Boom. Exactly. You take out the camera, suddenly you are now involved in a way. Like that guy kept talking to the guy holding the camera. Like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in this. It'd be so uncomfortable, all of the tension and whatever else. Like I would just walk away. You know what? There's another Arby's a couple miles away. I'll just go to that one.
But he got involved to get his camera out.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Don't take your camera out.
You know what? There's like 3 other places to eat within a half mile here. I'm just going to go somewhere else.
Well, and I feel awkward too. I mean, I posted some videos on TikTok of the zoo and some fun animals. Some did half decent, not 1.4 million views or anything like that. But I kind of wonder, when you think about stuff like that, I feel weird taking videos of anybody else without asking for their permission. You know what I mean? Like when I take videos of animals at the zoo, I try to make sure no other kids are in the video. I don't want anyone to say, why is he taking videos of kids? It makes it tough.
Do you ask that permission?
No, and that's bad. I guess I should make sure to say yeah.
Part of the problem.
Man, but with this Arby's thing, isn't that part of the issue when you're taking video of somebody else? Isn't that kind of a privacy standpoint?
Nope, he's standing in the public Arby's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But don't you feel weird posting that later? Maybe he's all excited posting, going, "Oh yeah, that's going to get a lot of views. This is awesome." But I don't know, man. Lots of weird stuff. I don't know, Paul. I mean, you do some good videos of church sermons. I know you've done book reviews in the past. I don't know. Maybe you should start taking some fight videos at fast food places.
That you have a church fight club. Don't even deny it at this point.
Yeah. Oh.
All those octogenarians with their walkers and stuff.
I'm telling you, I will get a TikTok so I can watch those videos.
I think that would be fascinating. I know in school, they'd lined up all the kids back by each other from smallest to largest, and they had wrestling matches starting off the two smallest kids. If you win, you go up. Why doesn't Paul do it as a church? If it worked for junior hires, I think it works for multi-age people. Wouldn't that be great?
What kind of fight club is that?
Hey, everybody, line up from the tallest to the shortest. We're going to start wrestling. That'd be great. Yeah. Old ladies wrestling against each other, and the winner gets to fight the next one. That'd be great.
No, because every match they've all broken their hips, and
it's a small. It's like Qatar with the World Cup. You sit there and say, "Man, we want the World Cup. What could possibly go wrong? Hundreds could die from construction." And you're sitting there like, "Okay, that's a lot of people. But if we don't do this, we won't have the World Cup." Same thing with churches, okay? You sit there and say, "I want to have a big wrestling match with everyone involved." And you're like, people could break their hips. What's the greater good? Fight club for the church, If people break their hips on the way.
What other way do you have to feel alive?
Yeah. And how can the church make their money? Paul, we're taking this a step further, but you've got to charge
all of these big mega churches that are out there. You think they get money from donations? Absolutely not. They're running complicated, World Cup scenario fight clubs.
Well, and Paul's already against the idea of fight club, and I mean, come on, why would you be against the idea of a church fight club? I mean, that seems. I can't think why you'd be against the idea. But we're going
like you've never been to a meeting of elders before. A fight club happens.
Right. But we're going to take this a step further because Paul's probably thinking, well, Chris wouldn't charge for the church fight club. No, we're charging.
Absolutely.
How much does it cost to go to a Vegas boxing match? Think about when Tyson was all popular, thousands of dollars. Now, maybe your church doesn't have thousands of dollars to spend to go to a unsanctioned fight club night at the church. 25, 50
but
bucks.
Maybe they do.
We don't have singles of dollars to spend.
Singles of dollars.
Well, it's a phrase. Hey, seniors, dump out your 401ks, bring them to the church. You know what I mean? You don't need your 401k anymore.
Stock options.
Oh man, what a great!
Add us into your will. We'll have a lawyer there who can, notarize the whole deal.
Yeah, but who else you're going to give them to your kids to probably dislike it? I mean, come on, give it to the church.
If I'm alive in 4 years,
okay,
I'll be 89. I'm going to find in 40 years whoever is that generation's The Rock. I'm going to find that person and just start poking the bear until they pummel me and just go out with a bang.
Yes.
So Paul's going to sacrifice himself up. Is it for the church or for your family? I mean, who are you going out with a bang?
No,
for?
I don't think I want to see me. That's all. And
okay. Because that could be like a great end to the fight club. You're like, I will sacrifice myself to the biggest, strongest guy there. I mean, man, I'd fork over.
I think about the level of daily pain I have as a 49-year-old. I can't imagine what that's going to look like as an 89-year-old.
Yeah, man, I'm out. I don't
But
need
that's
this.
that's what makes it fun. I mean, okay, you're suffering.
Your
You're
idea
suffering.
of
Yeah.
fun is just inaccurate.
Okay.
You need to redefine fun, my friend. The everyday pain that you feel in your late 40s is fun.
I don't know. I'm just trying to raise money for the churches. I mean, we're going into a recession. We can't always focus on the same ways of raising money. Forget, your offerings or your tithes or whatever the case may be. We've got to be innovative. We got to stretch the limits. Come on.
What the church needs is more capitalism, is what you're saying. That's what the American church needs to do.
There's a lack of it.
Is to embrace some more capitalism.
I'm not sure if I want to embrace sacrilegious. I think we're kind of getting close to that right there.
Oh, I think we're there.
Yes, we're there. Amen.
You may not have noticed that line, but if you turn around,
we're like whoosh, we're like way over it.
You'll notice that we're already there.
I was joking with my sister. Her church hosted our family get together, and they have a banquet room, just where we ate our meal, and they were like, "We're gonna bring games." I was trying to figure out where they brought the games to. They had the games throughout the church congregation, which like the main sanctuary, which is kind of weird.
Oh,
people were playing like cornhole on the side. In the back, they had ping pong. And I kind of said something about what would Jesus do if he walked in on this? He'd be turning over tables. Yeah,
table.
Yes.
Cornhole would take on a whole different meaning.
Oh yes, definitely. It would be really rough. So. All right, so we were talking about what churches doing horrifying things, and that was with our Arby's story. Yeah, we're back to Arby's.
Yeah,
okay.
We're back to Arby's.
I lost track of where we were at. So, oh man,
now that's a TikTok that I would watch.
We got the talking about Arby's.
Is a church fight. If there's a real throwdown at church, I want to see that TikTok. I'm going to look it up.
I will position my phone in creative ways in my next board meeting.
Okay. Yeah, come on, create that TikTok. Get views so you can get paid.
I found a couple of things right away.
Oh yeah.
Fight at church. I gotta
Yeah, you gotta share them with us. I gotta figure out.
Oh my goodness.
If we're going live,
oh my gosh! That's just right at the beginning. That's okay. The first one was wow.
Cool. Do you think?
Yikes!
I mean, these videos aren't copyrighted. Do you think we could show some of these videos?
I don't know. But it's literally like a camera that's on a pastor, and there's somebody sitting like right in the front row, so you can see their head, and someone just walks in and starts swinging on somebody in the front row of church. The pastor is preaching.
Well, we'll drop the link in private chat. Let me see if I can put it up for us.
Let me see.
Yeah, because we're live video. We did a Steelers show. I didn't think we could use NFL films footage, while we were talking about stuff in live, but I don't know, random TikTok, I think we can, right?
There you go.
I would assume so.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, but I had looked up TikTok, but the first link that came up was this one.
Okay, let me quickly see if I can get this up. Have you heard that? Yeah, for some reason, I don't think you guys can hear my video.
I heard like something in the background.
Okay. Yeah, let me see if I can bring this up.
Can you share it?
What was this called? Oh, Kevin Adams, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if I can play this for us.
I'm so excited to announce that local recording.
Oh, an ad. I'll play that ad. When I want to hear her ad.
Internet issues. They were blurry. They were freezing.
Skip ads.
Skip ads.
Local
Skip
recording
ads,
from StreamYard. You'll be able to download perfect quality video.
And we have
just
and
the thing he was saying in the sermon is, "We shall overcome."
Listen, stop now,
Marcus.
Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation down in the comment section down below. Is there a rule where to fight at? I mean, they was fighting.
Could you guys hear what they were saying? Is there a rule of where to fight at?
Yeah.
I mean,
not church is probably
not in the middle of the sermon. Even if you're going to fight at church, jeez, have some have some decency, have some dignity.
Yeah, I might.
You fight in the potluck line where it's appropriate,
right. Or just don't fight.
Don't you be cutting in front of me in a potluck line.
So yeah, very very weird. So, all right, yeah. Well, I was going to say too. The other thing that struck me weird about the story, they were saying that the clip starts with an Arby's manager snatching an empty cup from the counter, and they said for some people that behavior alone would set them off too. So, they take the cup away. Is that like really a fight thing? You know what I mean? Like the unwritten rule. I mean, I used to drink a lot of pop. That's why I look as big as I do right now. I'd probably have been upset if someone took the cup from me because I'm like, man, I want to start drinking Diet Pepsi. This is great. So do you think it's offensive that the manager took the cup away?
Apparently it's international code for it's on.
Okay. Oh, it's on. Well, I mean, I think any sort of coaching that you might get in sort of dealing with customers and managerial, whatever de-escalation tactics that you would be instructed to do, snatching things away from someone is not going to be very high on a list of things that you should do in order to de-escalate tensions with a customer. I didn't feel like I saw the manager very long to get like a feel for like how old this person is, but the shouting that was coming back, I feel like this manager is definitely a very young person who is the way that they are responding is not demonstrating a kind of patience or customer service that is involved in de-escalating a situation.
At Arby's in Hudson, Ohio.
Yeah, I muted the video because there's a lot of profanity there. Yeah, I mean, she reached across the counter.
We can hear it.
Oh, you can hear it? Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it's about to get linguistically spicy.
Okay.
But was that Stanley Hudson from The Office introducing it? Like,
yeah, I know.
I'm working on my crossword puzzles.
Yes. Is that TikTok setting? Because I know you can have voices introduce stuff.
I think it automatically reads the text. So he put the text in, meanwhile, in Hudson, Ohio, and then it reads it. I think that's how that works.
So because it happened in Hudson, Ohio, they had Stanley Hudson do
the video? No. I think it's just an automated voice reading it, and it chose a masculine voice, and it kind of sounded like Stanley.
A droopy masculine voice.
Hudson's a generally pretty upscale community.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not the kind of Arby's I'd
expect. Not at this Arby's.
Oh, yeah.
I think... this is the rough neighborhood in Hudson.
Or could this be like, think about the movie Falling Down, where like a random guy never really got in trouble. He got mad one day and he starts going off. Maybe this guy in the video is, this guy is the falling down guy. He probably has never done anything wrong in his life, But he had a bad day. Maybe he got laid off. Maybe
he got super pissed off about ordering a number one.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I don't understand what the problem was with ordering the number one. Like, he wanted a refund, but why'd you want a refund in the first place? Just get your number one and go away.
Right. Well, it's like The Purge. I mean, I'm not in favor of
like
The Purge. Right. But sometimes you just have to let that anger out. You have to,
Add an Arby's manager?
Well, The Purge, they killed each other. I mean, I'm not advocating for death.
It's The Purge or nothing with you.
Yes.
The World Cup needs to be The Purge. Arby's, just a random Arby's in nice little picturesque Hudson, Ohio, has to be The Purge.
Yeah. Hey, watching The Purge sticks with you, man. I mean, my goodness.
Church services
I should have watched The
Purge. Why is everything The Purge?
It's it is what it is. You know what I mean? We live in a troubled time.
Everybody to Purge Baptist Church. We're gonna
we got to keep
start the sermon now. So if you could all well up all of your deep-seated anger, and then you can start fights right here in the middle of the service, that'd be great. I'm going to preach some passages that are about war. Right, exactly.
I'm really starting to question myself now because, this is kind of like free thinking. I mean, we're not writing what we're going to say out. We just say whatever comes to mind. And, so you're finding out more about me. Yeah. I made some very communistic statements saying we have to vote on chocolate. We can't have that much chocolate. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. There's only so many kinds of chocolate we're allowed to have.
Yeah, so I'm kind of outing myself as a socialist, a communist. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of into The Purge,
Kind of into The Purge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really questioning where I'm coming at life.
So, like, you got some communism, you got some socialism, you got some fascism in there.
Yes,
dope.
Yeah,
you're just pulling a little bit from everywhere.
Yeah, I mean. Before we started this, if you said, "Hey, are you communist?" No, I'm American. Or
it's only things that can either benefit or entertain me. That's the rule.
I mean, I am a bad person. I'm not happy about this. I'm finding out how wrong I am, which is really rough.
Oh man, it's true.
Because you would never admit to this. Like, I would never sit there and say, "Yes, I'm in favor of The Purge." But the more I'm talking about it, I'm like, "Hey."
You're really talking yourself into The Purge. Really
yes. And it's not a logical leap. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting here like, let me just say random crazy stuff. I'm sitting here like,
we haven't had a purge
pushed you to that edge. You just kind of went sprinting at it.
Yeah.
Walking right up there. You like drove up to the cliff and parked your car and got up and walked down the little path.
Ran down that path.
And the closer you got to the cliff, you're just like, a $6 million minute.
Like, while I'm here.
We got a little bit of time.
Yeah, we do.
You want to play dealer's choice? Is there something that sticks out to you? I don't think we're going to get the rest of these in time.
Well, I think the thing that's probably the most us has to be the macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
The shells and cheese.
Paul, you okay with that?
I feel like that's very much an etc.
That is up our alley.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, a South Florida woman is suing Kraft Heinz, saying the food manufacturer hoodwinked her and other customers by saying its Velveeta shells and cheese product only takes 3.5 minutes to be ready to eat. She says, "Hey, it's false and misleading. The total prep time is longer. They have package directions on there, but the lady making the suit says it only accounts for one of multiple steps. It's going to take longer." I don't quite get this. She's seeking $5 million of damage.
$5 million.
So in essence, she's pretty much saying,
"What damage did she suffer?"
That it takes longer than 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, so is it the gift of time she's losing?
No, it microwaves in 3.5 minutes. But you have to open the thing, you have to add water, you have to open the package of the cheese, you have to stir all that in before you microwave it. So the fact that it says ready in 3.5 minutes
you extracting it from the cupboard. That's not part of the prep. That's not part of the cooking time.
But it claims to be ready in 3.5 minutes. Ready. It's not ready. I want to eat it. Go. And so now I have to peel the thing back. I need to put the water in. I need to put all the stuff in, and it's not ready in 3.5 minutes. If you said that it microwaves, it cooks in 3.5 minutes, that is accurate. But it's not ready in 3.5 minutes.
I think the lady
in fact, it doesn't even say this in the article. In fact, it's not even ready when the bell goes off. You will burn yourself if you eat it then. You have to let it sit. So it's not ready in 3.5 minutes, even if you didn't add in all of the prep time. If you cook it for 3.5 minutes, you have to let it cool down or you will burn yourself.
I used to get in arguments with my wife because we would go out shopping.
Because she didn't support the purge?
Yes, I know. Knocked off 4 concerns.
People. She had concerns and reservations about the purge, and I was like, listen, this is going to work between us.
Yeah, I was standing over 4 people celebrating my first...
My
4
first
at one time. Yeah, 4 at one time. It was amazing. Yeah. And my wife's like, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Gosh.
And I'm like, "Do you want to be number 5?"
You did not mention this before we got married.
Right. Yeah. So, do you want to be number 5? And she just ran off. It was, I don't know.
Anyway, so you were arguing about macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. Whoever's listening, this is tongue in cheek. I'm not admitting the crimes or whatever. But no, macaroni and cheese, I used to get arguments with my wife. I said, look, our time means something. You know what I mean? Like my wife would be like, oh, let's go shopping for 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, what's your time worth? Wouldn't it be better use of your time to do something different? Okay, so I estimated maybe our time's worth like what, $20 an hour, $30 an hour, whatever the case might be. Mm-hmm. Hey, this lady, her time is money. So if she loses
$50 million,
if she loses 5 minutes, her time is $1 million a minute. Hey, you've got to price yourself on what you think you're worth.
The salary she missed out on by waiting for her mac and cheese was $1 million a minute.
Right, but I mean, you got to figure out what is worth your time. And the poor lady had to wait, an extra 3.5 minutes? And you might say how crazy it is, but man, she's got things to do, places to go. She's got that box has to tell her the right information. If it doesn't, man,
that's the shells and cheese giving you a few extra to say, are you sure you want to eat this?
You really? Because it's even the Velveeta one. It's the Velveeta one, which I'm not a fan of the Velveeta one.
Oh, my daughter loves Velveeta shells.
Really?
She'd be all into it.
Is she going to sue?
If she knew how, she would. I mean, oh man, she was yelling at my wife about something. I can't remember what food she was asking for, but she was like, "Oh, want it now." So yeah. And I bet she was saying, want it in 3.5 minutes. Mom, don't wait 4.5. So I mean, hey, there's merit here. I think this lady's a hero. And I think people are knocking her down. Velveeta pay up.
$5 million.
It is a starting. You hear these you watch these court shows where they're like, they're trying to negotiate some class action lawsuit. And, the lawyers are like, well, we originally asked for $5 million, but now it's going to be a lot more. That's what's going on in this courtroom right now. They're like, look, we asked for $5 million. Now it's $500 million. Pay up. You know what I mean?
I feel like this is a situation, like sometimes as a joke, my daughter will say, I'm going to sue. It's a joke. But apparently, I mean, I'm trying to envision myself making myself some mac and cheese. And I don't know, is this the first time she's ever had the Velveeta shells and cheese and just now discovered? At what point does she say, this wasn't 3.5 minutes, I should sue? And then, I should sue. I mean, at what point do you just say, well, yeah, it wasn't exactly 3.5 minutes. Oh, well. I mean, at what point do you say, I'm lawyering up?
In this scenario, is it really the person this person who is willing to put in this lawsuit, this woman from South Florida, or is the problem two different lawyers, one from West Palm Beach and the other from Great Neck, New York, who both spent time doing the paperwork that it would take to file this lawsuit? I'm blaming the lawyers. Like you're saying, anybody can just sort of up and say, "Oh, I'm going to sue about this thing that I'm annoyed about. Oh, this chair fell apart. I'm going to sue." Or, I'm tired of the purge happening, so I'm going to sue. But somebody has to actually file the paperwork, and a lawyer has to say, "You know what? You're right. We're going to sue these people, and I'm going to get paid because I supported you." They're going to sue for $5 million, and some portion, probably at least 50% of it, is going to end up going to the lawyer, who's going to go to a lot of expense to try to sue for this. That's just stupid.
But what lawyers will tell
what this lady's going to be left with is enough to buy some Velveeta mac and cheese.
You kind of know not to throw lawyers under the bus, but
they're the worst people in the world.
To talk about, if you're going to a lawyer about Velveeta shells and cheese,
please get out of my law firm.
Lawyer,
this is what you say. They're going to get out of my law firm. Yeah, no,
exactly.
Please get out.
Hey, you didn't go to a reputable firm.
I need a less reputable lawyer. Where can I find one of those?
Yeah, but we're having inflation right now. It's a tough economy. Lawyers have got to get paid. I bet you these lawyers aren't getting paid that much this year.
No, they don't.
So we've got to help these lawyers out. And if you ever heard about this,
we have to help the lawyers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When the purge happens, that's where I'm going first.
Okay. But
because it's the purge, and they can't sue me. They can't sue me later because it's the purge.
Maybe I've watched a lot of Law and Orders lately, but I think of it when they say put a big money amount to it, because you know what I mean. Because if you sat there and said, "Oh, I wasted a minute with this macaroni and cheese," okay, maybe your time's worth $100 a minute. So you say, "I'm going to sue for $100," but Velveeta just is going to pay that out. You got to make it hurt. And that's why that lady is asking for at least $5 million. You know what I mean?
I mean, she's already making great financial choices by paying more money for the Velveeta. I mean,
right. Yeah, that's what the lawyers
like. Their argument is that people wouldn't pay that much for the Velveeta mac and the shells and cheese if they actually advertised how long it took to make it. Nobody would buy it. That's part of their legal argument.
Right.
We're talking about here.
We are trying to time out our days. Yeah, I mean, think about work. I work from home. Sometimes you want to tell your boss, "Hey, I'm going on break, going on lunch." Well, you want to give them an idea of how long it's going to be. I mean, what if that lady was late from work because she thought it was going to be 3.5 minutes and it turned out to be 6? People lose their jobs over stuff like that. She's trying to protect her job.
Brian Regan, the comedian,
$5 million.
Yes.
Brian Regan, the comedian, talks about how I've never looked to verify it, but that there's microwave instructions on Pop-Tart boxes.
Right.
And he said, if your schedule is such that you need to microwave it because you can't wait the 3 minutes for the toaster, so you're booking yourself a little tight. And I feel like if that extra minute for the shells and cheese really threw off your day, you might want to loosen up the schedule a little bit. I'm sure there's some room you could cut some things out.
You're right.
I mean, is she
what if you don't
this
have
in
a
the
toaster?
Car or something? Is that how busy she is?
What if you don't have a toaster, though?
I don't know.
If you don't have a toaster, you got to microwave the thing. You're not eating it cold.
Here's the other thing. I'm going to contradict myself.
That's never happened before.
Is this like the people who well, like with COVID, we put out this information. You should get vaccinated. You should be careful. You should wear a mask. I bet you this lady is probably looking at like, oh, that can't be the right information. That information is not wrong. They're not putting the right information into it. So do you think these people are fake news artists, or they're like, what do you call it? Instead of COVID deniers, they're cooking deniers. I mean, they're not sure what's the right time to put for how to bake something or not.
Well, they're hoping that they try to sue for $5 million and the company settles for $200,000.
Right.
That's what they're hoping.
Right. It's a capitalism.
And you don't have to do anything more. And then you walk away with $200,000 because it takes 4 minutes to prep mac and cheese.
Right.
And that's the worst. That is the worst of humanity.
Right. But bravo to those people because they're trying. It's like, okay, you can get a job writing grants for a company. Well, you're judged on how well you do in writing that grant. Think about these court cases as like writing a grant. You're trying to see how much money you can get from the court by how you write up the thing.
It's so much like taking a gun and walking up to somebody on the street and just putting it in their face and saying, "Give me your wallet." They're so admirable, right? Because it's not exactly the same thing, but it is. So there's that.
I want to see the footage of this movie. I want to see, like, was she going at a standard pace in her prep, or was she going super slow just to prove that it took longer? I want to review the footage.
Yeah, that would be great. I want to see this footage.
Exactly. It reminds me of. I just listened to the new Matthew Perry memoir on audiobook, but I listened to it at like 1.8 speed so I can get through books fast.
Yeah.
And at 0.8 speed, he sounds like Chandler Bing from Friends. When you put it at normal speed, I was going to say probably. It's like
after all of the drugs and alcohol, he tends to, struggle with speech.
Yeah.
Oh, and remember that the reunion thing where everybody was like, what's wrong with him at that? He had all of his teeth removed like the day before. He had gotten all of his teeth replaced, which is why he was slurring his speech.
Oh, man. That's not
then
good.
his colon had exploded, too.
There's that. Yeah. A little. Yeah.
I got to tell you, Joe, I think in the last hour, I've endorsed fascism, communism, socialism.
Yeah.
I've endorsed the purge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've kind of inadvertently said I whacked 4 people in the purge and threatened my wife.
Mm-hmm.
But
you basically insinuated that you support like robbery on the streets.
Yes.
Well,
you're for frivolous lawsuits.
I will put. Yeah, I am for frivolous lawsuits. Whatever you can do to make money, but I'm not into armed robbery. That's where I'll put my foot down. So
why? What's the difference?
Shame on you, Joe, for mentioning armed robbery.
Honestly, what's the difference? Tell me what the difference is.
I don't know. I gotta come out against something.
I'm threatening you with something unpleasant, so that you will be forced to put money into my pocket.
I can't endorse.
That is the exact same thing.
I gotta stop endorsing one thing. I mean,
I appreciate that there is a line somewhere.
Yeah, there's a limit.
The line might be.
There's a limit.
Might be further down the road than perhaps.
I have convictions.
So you're for an unarmed purge, then? You don't want weapons involved in the purge, just fisticuffs.
So we're right back to regular old Fight Club.
Yeah, I have a standard. I have convictions, Joe. Respect my convictions. Come on.
And the convictions are whatever benefits me,
right.
or entertains me. Those are my convictions.
Yeah, the ones I say no to, they're boring.
I don't find it entertaining.
Yes.
And so it no longer benefits me.
So I'm like Caligula, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Podcast.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'm very hedonistic. No, I'm not.
Now, hedonism. Now you can check that one off the list.
Yes. I'm into hedonism. Why not?
You're the guy in Return of the King, while his troops are all out getting slaughtered by orcs, you're in the dining hall, just like discreetly biting into a tomato.
Oh yes.
The old turkey leg.
I'm the King David with what was that lady that he sent out a guy to get killed for?
Bathsheba.
Yeah, Bathsheba.
Bathsheba?
I'm King David around Bathsheba.
He sent out her husband.
Yeah.
Do you not remember this?
I hope that's where the analogy stops.
Oh yeah.
A lot of red flags are going off now.
You're like, oh, I don't like where this is going.
I'm not saying anything else.
Did we not just say hedonism? Did we?
Yeah, really. I mean, oh boy. I don't mean any of this. In case listener, if you're listening and you're horrified, we say it's to entertain ourselves. That's the problem with going live video. Usually we could wait a week and
whatever benefits me financially or entertains me. That is what we're doing here.
Oh boy!
Because for anyone who's listening and about to dial 911, part of that, whatever benefits me or entertains me, is whatever gets Joe and Paul riled up.
Yeah.
But if you are about to dial up 911, you should go ahead and send the police over to the Arby's at Hudson, Ohio.
Yeah.
Because they're having an issue over there. You may want to take care of that.
But like I said, any of you that you've listened for the past hour, this is just a goofy show where we say crazy things, and I don't know. Now I feel bad, so oh well.
No, don't feel bad.
All right. Anything we want to promote? I got lots I want to promote. It's all bad.
Oral hygiene.
Oral hygiene. Okay. That's good. Joe,
you?
You're a fan. I'm a big fan of oral hygiene. That's my biggest passion.
Thoroughly wiping.
Ew. Oh my.
Oh man. Don't make me entertain trying to defend not thoroughly wiping.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't defend not thoroughly wiping.
Yeah, we always got to do the yes and or defend and.
Yeah. Who's got time though? Sometimes you just don't have time.
All right.
And really, that applies to both the oral hygiene and the thoroughly wiping.
Yeah. Oh my. All right. I don't even know how to follow that.
Don't.
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about some of the other.
You thought like if I don't ask them how they're doing, then
yes, that's true.
If I skirt past that safely, then we're in the clear.
Yeah, but no.
Yes. All right.
Still making it weird.
Yeah, we got a lot coming up on the network. Bob Garver, he's a movie reviewer, lives in New York City. He's going to talk to Craig about Glass Onion, Devotion, and Strange World. A couple of movies coming up.
Really want to see Glass Onion.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah, it's the follow-up to Knives Out.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Knives Out.
So good.
We've got a couple interviews scheduled. Vineyard Columbus pastor Eric Pickerel will come on to talk about abortion and how Christians can react to that.
They're quite close.
As well. Yeah. As well as, what would Jesus be? Would he be a Republican or Democrat? I have some good thoughts about that. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get her, but I've been direct messaging Soledad O'Brien back and forth. She's a former CNN anchor. We were trying to get her to come on to talk about the Rosa Parks documentary she did. She did it. I premiered on Peacock Network. Got word that it's also going to be on MSNBC on Sunday night at 10. So hopefully we'll get her tomorrow. If we don't, check out on MSNBC. I definitely want to. It sounds like a really interesting piece. Talk to Pierre Holland about football, everything AFC North. We also had a segment talking about the Buckeyes getting drilled on last Saturday against Michigan. Talked about Seinfeld in another segment. The visa, we talked about that. Talked about what we're watching on TV. And then over the past hour, Paul, Joe, and I did some more takes on the Steelers. So, all right. I think we got everything. Very good. Anything else you guys want to bring up before we go?
Yep, we're good.
I'm feeling bad. Now, remember, if you're listening to this, we're joking. We're joking. This is just a fun show. Don't be horrified. Don't cancel me, please.
Shouldn't joke about those kinds of things.
Yes.
How dare you?
For Joe, Paul, this is Chris. Have a great night, everybody.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Mooney. Welcome to what is our new Hope Interrupted podcast based on the work from our book, Hope Interrupted, that I co-authored with my good friend Byron McCauley.
Hey, Jennifer, I'm looking forward to this podcast as much as I was looking forward to writing this book with you. We hope to interview some high-impact folks as well as have a little fun.
We're going to cover stories of hope. To learn more about our podcast and our book, please visit www.hopeinterrupted.com.